Everybody knew it was right there. We knew it. You know, one of the things I did, not only the vaccine, but I bought billions of dollars worth of it, because otherwise it would have taken November, December. We wouldn't have any shots yet. And what I did is, before we knew it worked, we had good signals, but before, I bought billions and billions of dollars of the vaccine, and that's why we've been taking it for a long time now. And without that, we really would have a big problem. And I do believe people have to have their freedoms and all of that. But, you know, I'd love to see him take the vaccine. I think Biden's hurt it very badly because they don't trust him. A lot of people do not trust him. When he said pause on Johnson & Johnson, people don't view Johnson & Johnson. They say the vaccine. And I think that scared a lot of people.
You know what's wild? Right now, Mr. President, you are off social media. The Taliban is on social media.
Yeah.
They have a valid, active Twitter account. These horrible, hateful people who gave solace and refuge to al-Qaeda, and you are not on social media. It is...
Well, I have Save America, and we put it out, and we're doing great with it, and people are picking it up, and people hear my voice. That's why I'm speaking to you, and you're a very important source. I will tell you that you are a very important voice in this country, and you've done an incredible job. I'm just, you know, because I knew you when you were local Channel 5, right? Local Channel 5. I watched you in the morning with Rosanna. But you've done a great job. And, you know, being on, you know, speaking to you now, it's a lot of people. Speaking to other shows that do a very good job, it's people. We have a big voice. But to Save America, we issue releases, and it's under Save America, and they get picked up. But it's disgraceful when you think that you have killers and muggers and dictators and some horrible dictators and countries, and they're all on. But the President of the United States, who had hundreds of millions of people, by the way, he gets taken off. And as you know, we have a major lawsuit going. We filed it in Florida, and I think it's going to be very successful.
Mr. President, I want to play you something. I want to play you something from about 40 years ago, an interview you did with Rona Barrett back when you lived, I think, at 801 Fifth Avenue or so.
Right.
Let's go ahead and roll it, please.
For some people, the ultimate goal in life has been becoming the President of the United States. Would you like to be the President of the United States?
I really don't believe I would, Rona, but I would like to see somebody as the President who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
And you go on to say that it's a mean life, and ultimately the voters go with somebody with a big smile and not much of a brain. And it occurred to me that you might have been talking about Jimmy Carter, big smile. And you know what? Joe Biden, you're ahead of the curve because, well, he does have that big smile, and I know that you're not too impressed with his intellectual ability.
Well, he was never known as a genius. He was never known as a particularly smart person, but now it's not prime time for him, and we need prime time. You know, President Xi, who I know, and head of China, if you look at Putin, if you look at Kim Jong-un, look what happened. Nothing happened in North Korea. It was supposed to end up in a war. We would have had a war in North Korea under President, frankly, Obama/Biden. When I met with President Obama, he said it's the single biggest problem we have, North Korea. I have a great relationship with him. We didn't have a war. And that would have been a nuclear nightmare. So it would have been a bad one. But I got along great with him and got along great with others. But at the same time, we took in billions and billions of dollars from China. I stopped the Russian pipeline, which is the biggest thing they had, and nothing even close, and I stopped it, and then Biden allowed it to go through. Nobody's been tougher on Russia, and yet I got along great with Putin. I got along great with him. It's a smart thing. You know, getting along is a good thing, especially when you look at the kind of weaponry we all have. Getting along is a great thing. But I stopped the pipeline, and he started it. And there can be nothing tougher than that. I mean, what I've done with Russia, what I did with China, I got along now with China. Once the China virus came out, once COVID came out, you know, I viewed the whole thing differently, to be honest. But we made an incredible trade deal. That's why our farmers are doing so well, and manufacturers, because of the China deal I made, the China trade deal. But I don't talk about it because once COVID came out, you know, I felt a lot differently about the trade deal with China. You understand?
Sure. Finally, Mr. President, I do believe the world would be a very different place if you were still in office. And because Joe Biden is not going to, and he's not qualified, he doesn't have the experience to make phone calls like you did to Mullah Abdul Baradar, I think his name is. And you summarized this a couple of weeks ago in Phoenix.
I started off the conversation. I said, Mohammed, how are you? President Trump. Hurrah! Not a lot of social grace, but, you know, that was a nice, he was being nice. I think he was being as nice as he could be, Andy. But they're rough, you know, he's a rough, that's all they do is fight. But I said, we're going to come back and hit you harder than any country has ever been hit. And your village, where I know you are, and where you have everybody, that's going to be the point at which the first bombs drop. I told him that. I told him that.
Mr. President, I think only you. And that's a fantastic thing, quite frankly. I don't think anybody could pick up the phone himself and communicate as effectively for America as you did in that phone call.
Well, I had an understanding with President Xi of China also having to do with Taiwan. I said, do not let it happen.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.